do that, you know.
That's good, man.
That's pretty good.
That's a.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'll tell you that.
So we got a 27-year-old in Ohio. He's pulled over in his pickup truck, and he does something pretty interesting to get himself out of a DUI. But does it work? I don't know. Let's see. Now we're starting at the
Let me
top.
step under the car for me.
Can you step out of the car for me? Never a good sign. You do have to follow that
We're gonna go to the
instruction,
front.
Okay.
Okay.
though. Seems to be walking fine.
We'll go to the sidewalk over here. You got anything on your person? Any weapons or
my
anything? You mind if I
good
just
sir.
check it real
Yes.
quick? You know, we'll just walk back here to the bed of your truck, right?
Yeah. Officer takes him back, so it's in sight of the officer's dash camera.
Okay. You've had how many beers did you say you've had today, or drinks?
3 to 4.
Okay.
That's an admission.
And how
Bad
long ago
idea.
was that?
About an hour plus.
Okay.
3 or 4
Just-
beers about an
Well,
hour
the
ago. That
time,
in and
like,
of itself
6 to-
probably has you over the legal limit.
What time is it right now? 2:29.
Okay.
So between that time, at least 3 to 4.
Okay.
I've just been hanging with my buddies. I'm not from here.
Gotcha.
I've been here working. I came out hanging with them.
Okay.
We want to go get some.
All right, so I got to pause there. All of this is an admission. Never a good idea. When the officer asks how much you've been drinking, well, obviously you don't want to be in this situation in the first place. Do whatever you can to avoid it, namely not drink and drive. But you got to know that anything you say here can and will be used against you. It's a running joke among, law enforcement, DUI attorneys that oh, I had like 2 beers. Nobody ever has 2 beers at 2:30 in the morning, right? And so this guy, thinks he's doing the right thing, but like, I just had a couple like an hour ago. This is an admission, and he doesn't even realize that this is absolutely going to be used against him.
Yeah, man, your driving's pretty bad. Your eyes are super glossy. I guess no blue's coming from you, so I want to run some sobriety tests.
That's the probable cause, right? That's how the officer is justifying the position that he's in right now, which is he stopped the driver, he's got the driver out of the car. He has a reasonable suspicion that this driver is under the influence, and this is knee deep in a DUI investigation now.
All right, that cool. All right, man. So the first one's just going to be the eye test. For this one, we're just going to have you stand feet together, hands at your sides. All right, you wear glasses or contacts?
He does not have to do
Just
this.
gonna tip my
You can
my
simply
finger?
say,
Very
officer,
thick, sir.
respectfully,
All right, follow
I'm
the
not
eyes
doing
only,
any of
okay?
these things. Now, the officer doesn't give him the choice, and they don't have to. The officer can just say, hey, do these things. I want to make sure you're okay to drive home. And he doesn't give him the choice, but he has the choice, right? And that's where the driver needs to be educated, right? The driver needs to know their rights, that they do not have to do these standard field sobriety tests.
It's kind of hard to do right there.
Alright.
Way out of my vision.
It's called the horizontal
Just
gaze
do
and
the touch
nystagmus
again,
test, and it checks for involuntary movement or jerking of the eyes. It's designed to test whether or not the driver consumed alcohol.
Follow. Just keep your eyes on my finger, okay?
If you were driving at 2:30 in the morning and an officer's shining a flashlight
yeah,
in your
just
eyes, do
keep
you
your
know
eyes
how your eyes
on
are
the
going to
tip of my finger,
react, whether
okay?
you've consumed alcohol or not? I don't know what my eyes are going to, involuntarily jerk. So you may not want to take the test if you don't know what the outcome's going to be.
I always have to do this. Like you go back and forth too many times. Like it's getting a little dizzy over here.
Okay. Well, we're going to do it until my test is done, okay?
All right, sorry, sir.
So in order to properly do this HGN test, there actually have to be 14 passes of the officer's finger or pen across the driver's face. So it can take a while.
Is it like a past the time limit they can do this for? Or?
There's no time limit. man.
Okay, good.
There's no time limit.
I mean, I'm just like, I don't know, like at 4 a.m. Just hanging out with boys.
Yeah. It is. It's early in the morning. Yeah. But there's no time limit. All right, man. So that's the eye test. We got 2 more tests we're going to go through, okay? Next one's going to be the walk and turn test. So for this test, I'm just going to have you picture a line going down the center of the sidewalk here.
So I can picture anything I want. Okay. Can see my own mind.
I'm gonna have you.
That's what I'm just saying.
I'm gonna have you picture a straight. I'm gonna have you picture a straight line.
I put my head down right
Sure,
here.
sure thing, man.
And
Oh, does a backflip and kind of
That's
lands
good,
it.
man.
That's pretty good.
That's a.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'll tell you
No,
that.
of
But
course you
That's
can't,
what I'm
officer.
saying, like,
Most
what
people
can I
can't.
conceive? I can I'd be like over here, like my own line, you know.
yeah,
So
It's
I'm
fun.
asking
It's
you,
making him
what do you want me to do
likable.
as a straight line? Like, can you give me definitive?
have you
not
had any
getting him out of the
psychedelic
DUI, I
drugs
bet.
today, man?
No, I'm not.
All right, I'm just trying to be straightforward with you, bro. Just picture a straight line going down the sidewalk.
How do you stop
picture a straight line
after a backflip? How do you get back on track? Because the officer actually has to give some very specific instructions for this test to be valid. And now they're all thrown off because this guy just did a backflip and kind of stuck the landing. I mean, it was impressive. Do you think he's going to get out of the DUI? My answer is no. I bet he still gets arrested for this DUI. So that should be a lesson to you. If this guy can't get out of it with a backflip, you're probably not going to get out of it by talking your way out of it or being buddy-buddy with the cop and convincing him to just let you get back in your car and drive away. If it ain't working for him, it's not working for you either.
Your straight line might be obscured.
Might be obscured.
I like the way you do that right there.
Which
Okay.
Listen.
Yeah.
If I stand right here, you stand right here, and he stands right here, that straight line is obscured.
All right, walk down the. I'm gonna have you walk down the middle of the sidewalk. I don't know how I
So,
can
stand
explain
right
this any
here,
clear.
middle.
So I want to have you get in the starting position. I'm gonna have you put your left foot
I was just trying to ask you.
on that. I'm gonna have you put your left foot on the line. I'm gonna have you put your right foot
These are the required
in
instructions.
front of your left foot, touching heel to toe.
Left to right.
Right foot in front of your left foot.
Right foot.
Right foot in front of your left foot. Right foot.
So I said starting as left foot.
Right foot in front of your left foot.
So your ability to understand and follow
This is the
directions
starting position.
is part
Stay
of
in
this test.
position while I
Before you've
explain
even
the
begun the
instructions.
test, you're already
Okay?
being tested. He's failing.
I feel false sustained.
Do you understand?
Left to right, yes, sir.
Okay. Stay in this starting position while I explain the instructions, okay? When I say begin,
Meanwhile, you got the second officer's already
toe
searching his
steps.
car. Guy's not even under arrest
Gonna look
technically
just like
right now, but the officer's already digging in the car.
2, 3. When you get to 9, you're going to take a series of small steps, and you're going to go back down that line, take 9 steps again, just like this. 1, 2, 3. You're going to go all the way to 9, count each step out loud, and keep your hands at your side.
So the officer demonstrates it. He's required to do that.
Left to right. To 9 to right.
This guy, again, all the clarifications, it's a sure sign
I
that
want you to do the test just how I explained
you're
those
not
instructions.
comprehending. And the argument is you're not comprehending
9.
because you're under the influence.
9.
You're going to take 9 heel to toe
I
steps
just
going
asked
down the
you,
line.
Left, my left foot to my right foot. 9 steps.
You're going to
come
step.
up.
You're going to step 9 times down that line, and then you're going to
That's
turn
not what you
around.
just told me. I'm asking you to go left to right, 9 steps, turn around, come back to the other one.
Do you want me to explain it again?
I
What's your
just
what's your
asked you.
first name?
Tanner.
What the officer's doing here, like I said, the officer has specific instructions that he has to give. And so the officer's trying to avoid expanding on those instructions, right? Because that's where mistakes are made. The officers are trained to only repeat those instructions and not, put them in his own words or in layman's terms. And so the officer's doing his best to avoid that because the officer knows that this is an investigation and the officer knows that this is evidence that will be used against this driver in court. So the officer is purposely sticking to his script like the officer should.
Tanner.
T-A-N-N-E-R,
Tanner.
last name, Watson,
Tanner, just for the sake of redundancy, I can explain this to you again, if you want me to.
No, I was just asking for clarification. Left foot, right first.
You're
Not
right.
saying anything. I'm asking you, left foot, right first, right?
He's got the two officers in the
Left foot.
background here just waiting just for
Tanner,
the other
left
officer
foot.
signal
Tanner, you're
to
gonna
say,
start
okay,
left
let's put him
foot.
in handcuffs.
Tanner.
I'm asking you,
Tanner.
left foot. I do have to raise my voice even higher.
Tanner.
I'm asking you, left foot.
Tanner.
What's up?
You want to continue with the instructions?
I'm asking you, left foot. You told me left foot
I
first.
cannot explain this any clearer to you.
You can.
Okay.
I'm asking you, left or right foot. I can take go backwards.
You're going to have
all
your
night.
right
Doesn't
foot
actually matter.
in front of your left foot.
So left foot and then right foot.
Your right foot is in front of your left foot.
For how many steps?
9 steps, Tanner.
9 steps and then what?
All right. Tanner, turn around, place your hands behind your back.
The officer's
Okay?
patience has worn thin. Now, this is actually kind of a decent move by Tanner. It's actually a good thing for him, right? Because even though he kind of nailed that backflip, he was not going to nail this test. Few people do. Even if they haven't been drinking, few people nail this test. So that would have been absolutely evidence used against him. Now, it's just an argument that he, was too drunk to really understand, as opposed to he was too drunk to understand and failed the test.
Driving intoxicated.
Do you have any proof for that, or?
Tanner, you can't tell me what a straight line is. I think that's I think that's pretty solid proof.
No,
all
I
right?
asked you many times.
I got you. Take a seat.
So there is a third test that they didn't even get to, and normally that would be the one leg stand, right? Where you got to stand essentially on one leg and count out loud. They didn't even get to that. But those are the three standard field sobriety tests that are administered pretty much in all 50 states. First is the eye test, the HGN. Second is the walk and turn, where you take 9 steps. And third is the one-legged stand. They didn't even get through all of this with Tanner here. And that's because Tanner didn't do himself any favors, right? I'm not saying he was drunk. I don't know. I wasn't there drinking with him that night, partying with him that night. But he didn't do himself any favors. I mean, he gets out of the car fine, follows instructions, goes where the officer needs to in front, says, no problem, search me, goes in the back of the car. The guy seems fine in the beginning. But the more he talks, the more we realize that, yeah, this guy's probably drunk. Right? I mean, that's at least my conclusion based off of his admissions, based off of his performance and his ability to not follow instructions on the horizontal gaze nystagmus test, and based off of his repeatedly not understanding the instructions and getting loud and aggressive with the officer at the end there when it came to the walk and turn test. So the more that he talked, the more we realized, yeah, this guy probably is intoxicated and is going to be arrested and may not win his case now. So let that be a lesson, and that is not unique to this DUI arrest. Most cases, the more they talk, the more you realize something's going on here. How could he have avoided this? Well, one, most obviously, is don't drink and drive. You can avoid these situations if you don't drink and drive. The second thing, though, that Tanner could have done is he could have kept his mouth shut and not done the tests for the officer. He has a constitutional right to not do those things, to remain silent, and he should have exercised that right. He would be in a far better spot despite nailing that awesome backflip.
Do that,